I've had my Analogue Pocket since last December, and I was really excited for it. Leading up to it, it was a long wait, and I do enjoy it for what it is, an FPGA handheld to play my Game Boy and Game Boy Advance cartridges on. And luckily, my EverDrives, the little flash carts, they worked fine on it as well. But it was missing some features, and the promised updates for firmware seemed to not come when we thought. Even now, with its few updates, it's not exactly in a state I thought it would be, but it's slowly getting there, so it's not all negative. I mean, still no news on those Neo Geo Pocket, Atari Lynx, and TurboGrafx adapters, but they still show coming in 2022, so maybe there's hope for those for people who are interested. Now, recently, Analogue released a version 1.1 beta for the Pocket, and there have been a total of 4 versions of this update since August, just a few short months. These updates enabled Open FPGA plus some additional features and fixes, but Open FPGA is really where the magic's happening. To me, this is our jailbreak. We're able to sideload ROMs for numerous systems via cores that are being developed and ported to it, like Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, Super Nintendo, Neo Geo, plus a bunch more. Some of these cores that we've been getting have been ports from the Mister project, and I think that's awesome what the community is doing out there. Little by little, we're getting a lot of stuff that people had hoped for. Shoot, I was really excited when I heard about the Neo Geo and Super Nintendo cores, but one that was missing was the NES. I really wasn't hearing too much about that, and that was until now. We now have an NES core. I mean, there's not many readily available options for NES FPGA, unless you already have a Mister or one of the harder to get FPGA clone consoles. I mean, there's tons of different options out there as far as emulation or original hardware, but for a $200 handheld to run these FPGA cores, I think it's pretty sweet. So today I wanted to give the new NES core a test. So let's go ahead and get it set up real quick and try it out. So the core is a port done by AG23, who also did a few other cores for the Pocket. To get ready to use this core, you just have to make sure your Pocket has been updated to one of the new version 1.1 beta firmwares. Just grab the latest from the Analogue support site, drop it on your micro SD card, insert it into your Pocket, and power on. It will start the update to the Pocket right away. Now, it could take a few minutes, so be patient. If you also have the Analogue Pocket dock, it'll ask you if you want to update that once the Pocket has been updated as well, so may as well go through that. Now, once that's done, either use the same micro SD card that you use for the update, or whatever one that you have that you want to load up your cores and ROMs to. And then you're going to go to the GitHub page that AG23 has the NES core on. I will put the link down below to make it easy for you. Now, one thing to note is you have to have your micro SD card formatted to FAT32 or EXFAT for it to work in the Pocket. Now, once you've grabbed that NES core, unzip it and drag those folders to the root of your SD card. Next, we got to load up our NES ROMs. So I cannot directly link you to ROMs, but the Internet Archive is your friend. That's one little hint. Now, to find where you have to put your ROMs, navigate to the Assets folder, then choose NES, open that folder, and then open the Common folder and put your ROMs in there. Organize them or however you got them. That's what you got to do. Now that we got that all set up, let's go ahead and pop it in. Check this core out. Let's do it. Okay, so here we go. Let's try some NES games. Maybe load up a few games, some hacks maybe. I don't know. Let's just see what runs, how things look, what the options are. So I did put a bunch of my Evercade, set up on here. Not everything, but a handful of stuff. The one thing I noticed, which I, just kind of threw on here, but Famicom Disk System stuff is not supported by this core as of yet, it appears. They are .fds files, so they don't show up. They got to be the normal .nes or whatever. But yeah, so no Famicom Disk System. Maybe eventually. That would be kind of cool. But let's jump into a game real quick. Adventure Island I'm very familiar with. Let's see what the options are. So let me just jump into the game. Oh, that looks nice. It's like playing on my other consoles that I have. The Retro USB AVS or the NT Mini Noir. This is cool. So let me pause it, go into options, core settings, use multi-tap, hide overscan. So, okay, it pushes it up to hide the overscan. No masking, left. Wait, no masking, left, both, or auto masking. I wonder how the auto, like, okay. Extra sprites. I think that might be for flicker, possibly. Palette. Oh, cool. Oh, palette 0. I automatically noticed in the background. It's probably too dark. We'll jump into it. Okay, palette 0. That's what it looks like. Palette 1. That's what it looks like. Palette 2. Okay. 3. I'm not sure which each of these palettes are called, but nice. I mean, I'm sure we could probably look this up and see what each one is, like NES Classic or, you know, Versus System, whatever, Play Choice. I don't know. Or certain other palette schemes. But that's cool. We have a handful of palettes. Maybe eventually we could load our own or something. And then reset to default. We don't have memories, so like no save state stuff, but I think that's being worked on. So yeah, that's cool. I'm not feeling any like weird latency. Everything's just reacting fine. I have my controller plugged in wired instead of wireless because it was almost dead, so I didn't want to, you know, mess up on anything here. All of a sudden my controller dies. But these 2.4 gigahertz controllers, you could use them wireless on here or wired. I love this thing for this kind of stuff, so yeah, why not? All right, let's exit out of here. Wait, is there any like... No, there's no like exit button, it looks like. So we just gotta quit. Be nice if they mapped something where you could just jump out of it and reset the core maybe, but not at this time. That's okay. That's okay. But what else? Versus system stuff. Let's see if that works. Super Mario. It says it's a hack. It's just essentially a port of the arcade version, which is pretty cool. There's like, you know, I love playing this in the arcade because it's just kind of rearranged Super Mario 1. If you're too accustomed to the original that you played on the home console, this has some things like in different locations, you know, a little bit of a rearrangement here and there. It's pretty fun to play. Like you'll see, oh wait, the fire flower is not there. It's up there, but I mean it gets a little more different the further you go. But okay, that's cool. That seems to be playing fine. The audio seems all right. And I just jumped into that freaking turtle like an idiot. At least I didn't die by the first Goomba. Okay, so that worked. Let's check out a ROM hack. Like why not? Oh, Super Mario and Mario 3 graphics. I've never played this one before. Let's check it out. At least I don't think I have. Okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, we're overdoing it a little bit with the Mario 1 games, but hey, that's neat. Mario 3 graphics, and it runs. Okay, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some weird stuff that might not run. Like, I'm not sure if this Final Fantasy VII game will run, but let's try it. Okay. Final Fantasy VII on the NES. Why not? Let's go. Intruder. That's awesome, dude. Interesting. I mean, the game loaded up and it ran for the first few minutes, so that's nice. Okay. One of my favorites. I'm glad this works. I mean, most stuff, like most mappers should be supported, from what I've been reading. So most of these games should run. You may just find like some ROM hacks because, you know, a lot of times ROM hacks more take into consideration running on emulation than original hardware. And with FPGAs attempting to mimic the original hardware, there's no guarantee everything will run in that regard. So, but hey, so far everything I've tested here on camera and off camera has been really cool. I mean, I'm glad that the Analogue Pocket is getting a lot of love now with all these different cores being released, and it's fun. It's neat. Yeah, it's just another way to dump some ROMs on a device, but it's almost like you got a handheld Mister, so that's cool. I mean, not quite as much support as the Mister. Like, there's a buttload of different systems and arcade cores and whatnot, computers for Mister, I don't know that we'll necessarily get that far with the Analogue Pocket, but what we've gotten so far is freaking awesome. And hey, I appreciate the community that puts this kind of stuff together. Appreciate y'all watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye.